have kind of given a paragraph model which is very simplistic, right? So going back to Unit 4, Unit 7. Topic, sentence. Certain number of details. Clincher. And we really haven't talked much about organizing details because there's such a diversity of things you might need to do, right, with those. In fact, I have a friend, Vic Pellegrino, who wrote a book, which you can buy from us if you like. It's called A Writer's Guide to Powerful Paragraphs. And in this book, Dr. Pellegrino identifies 30 different ways to organize details inside a paragraph. Things like specific to general, general to specific, chronological analysis, spatial analysis, compare, contrast, and contrast. It goes on. 30 ways. And of course, you could buy this book. You could study all 30 of these models. You could practice writing multiple paragraphs of all these 30 models, and you could do that, and that would be kind of the equivalent of going to Home Depot, buying a very large and expensive toolbox, buying 30 very large and expensive tools and putting them in this toolbox and carrying around it with you wherever you go. Some people need to do that, right? I do not. I don't use tools. I really don't. I mean, if I cannot accomplish it with a Swiss Army knife and a hammer, I don't even try. It's not worth my time. I'm completely incompetent. But I do like that Swiss Army knife because there are little things I can do, like tighten a screw or open a bottle or cut my fingernails. Important things. So, the TRIAC is kind of like the Swiss Army knife, kind of like the Leatherman tool of paragraph models. It's very versatile. It'll do lots of organizing for you, but it won't solve every problem. But it's a good one to have. And the way it works is T stands for topic, R stands for restriction, or you narrow something ever so slightly. I stands for illustration, or maybe information, illustration. And A stands for analysis. What's the significance? What are the impacts? What's the value? What's the meaning? Right? And then C stands for clincher. So topic, restriction, information, analysis, clincher, and there's 5 parts. Now they're not 5 equal parts because the topic and restriction are probably very short. The illustration and analysis are the big parts, right? And then the clincher is going to be pretty short. So let's say I was writing a little composition about the Heinz family. And Betsy is the mom, right? And are you a homeschooling mom? Okay, so I would write 1 paragraph, that's all I have space for, about Betsy, right? So by the TRIAC model, it might go something like this. Betsy Heinz is an extremely devoted homeschool parent, right? Now, that's a big subject, right? So we want to narrow it down, give it some direction, right? She is particularly enthusiastic about teaching her children science. Now we know where we're going with this. We see some direction. The restriction drives the content, do you see? Now I need a few illustrations. She frequently can be found staying up until 1 or 2 in the morning, preparing fascinating kitchen science experiments, poring over the books that teach her how to do that. Furthermore, she has ordered a chemistry set and an electrics set and a physics set for each one of her 7 children. She gets so excited about science that she makes a video of the experiments her children are doing, and they write marvelous reports to show their understanding of their lessons. Okay, this is just all fiction, I know, but okay, now that's the illustration. Have I kind of proved my point? Okay, now we have an analysis, and we'll say something like, clearly, Betsy's children are learning well elements of the scientific method, falling in love with chemicals and electricity and what else can you fall? Pendulums. Trying to think of a physics thing there. Pendulums. And it is very likely that all of her hard work will gain one or more of her children a full scholarship to MIT in the future. Clearly we see Betsy is an extremely dedicated homeschool parent. Do you see? So I'm sorry for picking on you. You're okay with that. But the idea then would be you could take any subject in any topic in the world, probably, and spin it out if you followed this pattern. Topic, restriction, narrow a little bit, give some information, illustration. They always say show, don't tell, so paint the picture. Analysis, what's the significance, value, impact, meaning, and clincher. So that's the TRIAC model. And again, I would not try to teach this to someone until you've been kind of working through all of our basic stuff for quite a while, and then you can refine it, much like that transitional clincher idea. Good. Okay, we're going to take a